Hi Chess World, it's John. I'm 47. I've been playing chess since the age of about 11, and recently I bought an iPad 2 and downloaded a chess game which I beat easily on the beginner's level and then intermediate, but at the top level I just couldn't beat it. It's taken me months to beat it, and this is the game that I won. It's for people who are just beginning to play chess, or average players like myself, but hopefully advanced and expert players might gain an insight into the game and be able to give their opinions on the game. But it's just basically for anybody who's trying to beat a chess computer, just to show that it can be done. And here's how I won the game. I started off with c4 because I looked at the D&E pawns opening into the centre and even bringing out the knights, but I just favoured this approach. Computer went with knight f6. I then pushed my pawn up into the middle. Computer moved e pawn. I brought my knight out. It brought a bishop attacking knight. I moved my pawn up, chased it back, and then still advanced my pawn. It then castled, brought my queen into play. Don't normally bring the queen out so early, but decided to develop the pieces. It brought its pawn out, moved my knight out. It advanced its pawn. I moved my bishop out, ready for castling. Took a pawn, so I did a pawn exchange. Then advanced its pawn. Again, another pawn exchange. Moves its bishop out. I castle. It brings its knight out. I then advanced forward, attacking the knight. Thought that was a strange move when it moved back to e8 with the bishop. I took a knight. Bishop took pawn, but I was a piece up. That was a crucial part of the game. We both castled, had pawn exchanges, but I was actually a piece up. I then thought, I'm going to go for a queen exchange because I was in the advantage. It obviously took with the rook. I then challenged the rook and we did an exchange. That was the first check that the computer did on me, but it was easily defended against with the bishop. It brings his bishop forward, bringing my rook forward. It advances the knight, but again I chased it back with the pawn. As it retreated, I then took knight for knight. Bishop takes knight. I move my knight, brings its rook into play. I challenge the rook again, and again it takes, but I take it back with bishop. Drops back the bishop. On this side I'm developed to a4 now. Brings out its bishop. I block the pawn with bishop, but it takes. I'm happy to do that because I take back. It develops its pawn, so do I. Drops its bishop over to d7. I advance my pawns. It then takes. I move my knight out of the way. It takes bishop, but I take back with knight. It starts to move its king as we're going into the endgame, and I move my king. Moving its pawn forward. Move my king, then its king. And eventually I see the pawn on c5 moving forward. I then move my knight forward. It moves a6. I move my knight to attack. It takes my pawn on this side, but you know I couldn't defend. But I'm now threatening its pawn. There's a pawn exchange here that I've got to take. I don't want to get that pawn passed, so I use my king to drop back. Keep dropping back. The king is going to play a crucial role in the last stage of the game. I then take that pawn on a6. King's moving across. I now advance my pawn to c6. There's a real chance of getting a queen. It obviously takes pawn for pawn, but I move my knight to block it. It's now trying to get a queen on the H line, but I'm chasing on the A line. There's a race for a queen. The adrenaline's pumping. It moves its king across. I'm so close to a queen. It's trying to get my knight, so I move the knight out the way. Then it retreats its king, and I get the queen. I now know I've got a fantastic chance to win, but I've got to play it cool because I don't want a stalemate. I move my king forward again, it moves its pawn, I get my first check, the king moves forward, I move my knight into position, and then another check, blocks with the pawn, I take a pawn, it now realises, in a vain hope of trying to get a queen, it moves its pawn, I move my king, again moves a pawn, but I've got the knight to cover it, but then I come in with checkmate, the queen and my king smothering its king, and its own pawns blocking it. I really enjoy playing this game. It took me months and months to win, but I just want to prove to people starting out that you can beat the computer at the top level. I welcome your comments. Thanks for watching this game, and enjoy your chess.